Leo and Calypso's journey on Ogygia was one of the highlights of the House of Hades book, so I thought I'd make a video summarizing everything that happened. First off, there will be spoilers for the Heroes of Olympus series, specifically book 4. Also, since the events of the video take place in 4 chapters in the book, I'm gonna break this video down into 4 different sections. The timestamps can be found in the description. Anyways, without further ado, let's begin. Chapter 1. The story starts when Keon throws Leo off the Argo 2 and into the sky. He passes out and later wakes up to find himself hurtling toward the sea. He scans the area and sees no land except for one tiny island on the horizon. Since he was blasted off the Argo 2 with his Archimedes sphere, he gets to work, pulling things from his magic tool belt and using the sphere to build a makeshift helicopter. Luckily, the contraption exploded, flinging him sideways, essentially saving his life, while the rest of the helicopter crashed into the shore at full speed. As Leo gets up and takes in his surroundings, he notices pieces of wood in the crater created by his crash. He also finds that his Archimedes sphere is still intact. As he makes his way to the bottom of the crater to retrieve it, Calypso shows up behind him and yells at Leo for destroying her dining table. In the book, Leo says that Calypso's angry expression reminded him of all the girls who used to make fun of him at school, and he instantly dislikes her. Calypso looks up at the sky and yells at Zeus for sending Leo to her island, then drags him to a different part of the beach where she makes him say that he wants to leave Ogygia, or the island they're on. Expecting a magical raft to appear and take Leo off her island, Calypso storms off in anger and disappointment when nothing happens. Being hungry, tired, and beat up from his crash, Leo promptly follows her. Chapter 2. Leo eventually arrives in Calypso's garden, which he describes as the nicest garden he's ever been in. He finds Calypso and approaches her only to see that she's crying. Calypso tells him to find his own part of the island and leave her alone, but Leo persists, asking if there was any other way off the island. Eventually, Calypso tells Leo about her curse, how she can't leave the island because she supported her father Atlas and not the gods in the First Titan War. She explains how the gods sent her heroes she can't help but fall in love with, but then take them away. She also mentions Percy and the promise he made the gods make to forgive their old enemies. She says that she hoped she would be released, but that the gods forgot their promise and now mock her by sending Leo to her island. Leo refuses to give up hope, claiming that he'll build something to get himself off the island, but Calypso says that if the raft won't appear, that means the gods closed Ogygia, and that Leo is stuck here like her and can never leave. Chapter 3. A few days pass, where Leo walked around the entire island during the days and slept outside during the nights, making fire out of the remains of Calypso's dining table. Leo eventually loses track of the days, not knowing if it was day 3 or 4, or if the battle with Gaia was over, but his resolve stayed the same. He had to get off the island. Calypso took pity on him in some ways and sent him bowls of stew or apple cider. After making a more permanent home, Leo remembers Odysseus' bronze astrolabe he found and gets a sneaking suspicion that it could be used to find this island. Unfortunately, he left it back on the ship, and it was missing a crystal of some sort. One day, while walking through the hills, Leo steps on a piece of metal. He digs it up and finds a handful of wires, a few bent gears, a piston, and several hammered sheets of celestial bronze. He lugs his findings back to his camp and gets to work, trying to build something to get himself off the island. The first time Calypso checked in, she complained about all the noise he was making and the smoke he was producing. They begin to argue until Calypso tells Leo that he hasn't eaten in 2 days. Leo's surprised that Calypso had actually noticed. The next time Calypso checked on him, she brought him a new set of clothes and explained that she made them fireproof since he kept burning through all his other pairs. Leo jokingly replies by saying that he thinks she's warming up to him. Calypso denies it, saying that she was returning a favor because Leo had helped fix her fountain, leveled the currents to her cave entrance, and sharpen all of her gardening tools. Leo says that it was all nothing, and he just didn't like to see things not work, but Calypso replied by imitating his voice and saying that he was really warming up to her. She then points to his work table and asks what he's building. Leo explains that he built a seeing device to see if he could find out what's happening with his friends. He attempts to finish his device, but it malfunctions. Calypso says that perhaps a musical invocation could make it work, but Leo just laughs. Suddenly, Calypso starts to sing. The book describes her voice hitting Leo like a cool breeze, reminding him of his best memories. When she stops singing, Leo's machine sparks to life, showing holographic pictures of Camp Half-Blood preparing for war against the Romans. Leo mentions Percy's name and was surprised to find himself mad at Percy for hurting Calypso by leaving Ogygia. Out of nowhere, his machine stops working and the swirling human figure of Gaia erupts from the sand. Gaia urges Calypso to help her by killing Leo and promises to free her from the island in exchange. Instead, Calypso thrusts her hand outward toward Gaia in an ancient ward against evil and scatters Gaia's sand form. Leo turns to her, saying he was surprised she didn't help Gaia. Calypso responds by saying that his friends must really need him, or Gaia would not ask for his death. She says that they have a lot of work to do, and that they must get Leo back to the Argo too. Chapter 4. Within 2 days, Calypso had gathered enough food, medicine, and supplies for a week-long voyage. Leo, working on a circuit board to navigate his way back to the world, asked if Calypso wanted to come with him. She turned down his offer, saying that the gods placed magical barriers preventing her from leaving. She then asked what more she could do to help Leo. Leo said that she could get a crystal from her cave for Odysseus' astrolabe. After that, she started helping Leo twist some more bronze coils. Calypso surprised Leo with her speed and efficiency. Leo jokingly offered her a job in his future machine shop, which had always been one of his dreams, yet he never told anyone about it. Leo and Calypso's garage. Auto repair and mechanical monsters, he said. We could even provide entertainment. You could sing and I could randomly burst into flames. Calypso laughed. The first time she was genuinely happy around Leo. Soon the guidance console was finished, and Leo said that he'd start building a boat, which would be done in a couple of days. Leo found it weird that he was glad he had a few more days with Calypso. Calypso asked Leo if his guidance console would work, and he said that it'll be fine getting out, but to get back, he'd need his dragon. Calypso was shocked by the thought that Leo would come back for her. You didn't really think I could start Leo and Calypso's auto repair shop without Calypso, did you? Leo asked. Suddenly, a large wooden raft floated in on the tide and slid to a stop on the beach. Both Calypso and Leo stood there, stunned. Then, Calypso immediately started grabbing supply bags and putting them on the raft. She then grabbed the console and together they fastened it to the raft. After everything was ready, Leo turned to Calypso. The raft finally got here, he said, but if it only shows up for guys you like. Suddenly, Calypso kissed him. Then she turned, wiping her eyes, and stormed up the beach. Leo wanted to call after her, but the raft started to move away. By the time he aligned the guidance console, Ogygia was far behind him. All of a sudden, Leo understood a line from the prophecy better, an oath to keep with a final breath. Leo knew how dangerous oaths were, but he didn't care. I'm coming back for you, Calypso, he said. I swear it on the river Styx. And he did. After the fight with Gaia was over, Leo used the crystal from Calypso's cave and Odysseus' bronze astrolabe to locate Ogygia. He flew there with his dragon and rescued Calypso, and their story continues into the Trials of Apollo series. Anyways, thanks so much for watching. If you have any suggestions on any other videos I should make, feel free to comment it. Anyways, I'll see you all next time.